Hello there. Hello, one and all. I'm soon to be releasing the full speaker lineup for the 2020 Hypnosis Convention. And just as I did last year, I wanted to announce our academic lineup of speakers who are going to be speaking on the Saturday of the convention in the main lecture theatre. Those who attended last year and who have been following us on social media, I'm here at the UK Hypnosis Convention. You'll be aware that one of my aims since taking over at the helm of the convention was to create more awareness of the academic research and leading academic authors in our field, and to champion advanced levels of education. So as well as embracing the diversity of our field and featuring leading hypnotherapists and trainers that you're most likely familiar with, I also want to bring you what we consider to be the cream of the academic world too, and really aim to enrich your convention experience. I've already announced that our keynote speaker is Irving Cash this year, who's going to be speaking on the Saturday on the topic of using hypnosis as a non-deceptive extra strength placebo. He'll be highlighting the similarities between hypnosis and the placebo effect and drawing upon his considerable research. He's going to be also presenting The Emperor's New Drugs, the myth of antidepressants in the evening at the gala dinner, which I hope makes for a fascinating and entertaining evening there at the gala dinner. This year, myself, I'll be sharing what I consider to be some really important research findings in my presentation entitled Self-Hypnosis as Phenomenological Control. Has self-hypnosis destroyed the hypnosis Stroop task performance legend? I'm going to be seeking to answer that question. When the speaker listings go live, do have a good read of my lectures. It contains some potentially important implications for the entire field of theoretical and practical hypnosis, and asks some major questions of cold control theory and whether hypnosis is actually the main component in the legendary Stroop task performance hypnosis research. Now, we're also going to be welcoming Professor Christina Lee OC. She is chair in pediatric psychology at the University of Southampton. She's an honorary consultant, pediatric psychologist at the Pediatric Chronic Pain Clinic at the Great Ormond Street Hospital for Children as well. Professor Christina Lee OC has worked as an academic and as a clinician in the UK and abroad, and has cared for children with various chronic medical conditions, including cancer, cystic fibrosis, chronic kidney disease, and sickle cell disease. And she really is one of the world experts in pediatric pain. Christina's randomized controlled clinical trials have been critical to the establishment of hypnosis as an evidence-based intervention in the care of children with cancer. Christina has contributed to national and international evidence-based guidelines on acute and chronic pediatric pain, in particular pain in children with cancer and sedation in children. And her lecture entitled Clinical Hypnosis in Pediatric Care, our current understanding of the neurophysiological mechanisms of hypnosis will be presented by her. And also the current research literature regarding the use of clinical hypnosis in pediatric care is going to be reviewed. She's going to highlight that clinical hypnosis is a powerful technique for the management of acute and chronic pediatric pain, and you know, as well as claiming and demonstrating that the quality of evidence for its efficacy does vary. It's still hypnosis is still an evidence-based intervention for procedure-related pain, and appears promising. And in pediatric care in general, she'll champion clinical hypnosis as being a highly effective tool for helping many children in many different areas, both physical and emotional. I'm so really excited about welcoming Christina. We will also be welcoming Peter Nash, whose lecture will be entitled Why Hypnosis Facilitates Recovery from PTSD. So after obtaining his doctorate in the University of Oxford's Department of Experimental Psychology, Peter spent much of his time in academia researching hypnosis. However, he also had a spell carrying out research for the Ministry of Defence. And there he became involved with the issue of PTSD, and he soon spotted the parallels and developed some novel apparatus to explore the nature of the connections. Peter has held the post of President of the Section for Hypnosis and Psychosomatic Medicine at the Royal Society of Medicine. He now has the same role with the British Society of Clinical and Academic Hypnosis. He's also a member of the Board of Directors of the European Society of Hypnosis. He's a strong advocate of the public dissemination of science, and he's a regular speaker at the major British science festivals. Additionally, he's lectured at the Science Museum, the Royal Society, the Dana Centre for the Brain, and Science on the Fringe during the Edinburgh Festival. And his presentation is going to outline the neural and epigenetic mechanisms that underpin some people's reaction to severe trauma. It's going to be shown that there are a surprising number of parallels between the characteristics of PTSD and the phenomena of hypnosis, to the extent that sufferers are usually highly hypnotically susceptible. And this potentially gives hypnosis a unique role in the treatment of PTSD. It's really exciting and important stuff. Now, it gives me enormous pleasure, really enormous pleasure, to announce that we will have Professor Eva Bagné joining us this year. Eva Bagné is a Professor Emeritus of Psychology at the Department of Affective Psychology in the Institute of Psychology at Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest, in Hungary. After earning her doctorate in psychology in the early 1970s, she spent a fellowship year with the legendary Ernest Hilgard at Stanford University, where she developed active alert hypnosis. If you've heard of active alert hypnosis, she is the lady that created it. As the phenomena that we know, and you know, those of you that have studied with me know that I champion her work in that area a great deal. Today, her main research interest is studying the psychophysiological, behavioral, phenomenological, and social aspects of hypnosis from an interactional standpoint. Recently, she's been involved in developing new hypnotherapeutic methods for healing cancer patients and in conducting research on the effect of hypnosis in treating high-risk breast cancer patients. She's been heavily engaged in teaching hypnosis research and hypnotherapeutical methods to researchers and clinicians, both in Hungary and around the world. She's past president and honorary lifetime member of both the European Society of Hypnosis and the International Society of Hypnosis. Do go and read her bio on the convention website when it all goes live, to also see some of the incredible accolades that she's been awarded over the years. Now, her lecture is entitled Basic Research with an Interactional Perspective on the Nature of Hypnosis. And she's going to summarize the sort of theoretical considerations standing in the background of the approach of hypnosis from an interactional perspective. She's going to describe the complex, multi-dimensional experimental paradigm that her research team has been using since back in 1982. They've been studying the physiological, behavioral, subjective, experiential, and relational characteristics of both hypnotist and subject of the hypnosis kind of interaction simultaneously in that time. And she's been analyzing the interrelationship of these factors that play an important role in the development of hypnosis. I mean, it's incredibly fascinating stuff. The results, you know, her results indicate that hypnosis is especially effective in mediating social support, and because it develops a strong, intensive interpersonal relationship between hypnotist and hypnotized subject. Do have a read when all the details go live at the website. So we're also going to be welcoming Peter Worrell, who is Director of Neurogastroenterology Unit at Wythenshawe Hospital and Professor of Medicine and Gastroenterology at the University of Manchester. His unit undertakes research into the clinical and physiological aspects of irritable bowel syndrome and other sort of functional gastrointestinal disorders. There's a lot of long words in this particular presentation. As well as receiving referrals of complex cases from all over the UK. He personally sees approximately 600 new patients with irritable bowel syndrome every year. He's invited to speak on his area of expertise all over the world. He has over 380 publications in a variety of books and peer-reviewed journals. He also runs a hypnotherapy unit, which is used for treating these same patients, as well as undertaking research into hypnosis and this application of hypnosis. So Professor Worrell is an advisor to a large number of pharmaceutical companies and other organizations in the healthcare arena. And his lecture is going to primarily describe the problem of IBS and the challenges associated with its treatment, with particular focus on hypnotherapy. You know, his work has seen hypnosis featured in the Lancet journal, which is virtually unheard of for the field of hypnosis. We're also going to be welcoming Dr. Nicole Royce. She's a psychiatrist and psychotherapist. She's past president of the European Society of Hypnosis. And since 2015, she's been elected on the board of directors as a member of the International Society of Hypnosis. She currently works full-time in her private practice in Antwerp. She is an international trainer and supervisor in hypnosis and in psychotraumatology. She's actively involved in training and supervision in hypnosis and training in hypnotic communication in medical practices and hospitals. And she runs advanced workshops in hypnosis and Ericksonian hypnosis. And she's lectured and given workshops in many international hypnosis congresses and has been invited all around the world, you know, in many different countries. And she's published some papers on hypnosis for burnout, stress control, happiness. Her lecture is entitled Hypnopsychotherapy for Lasting Changes, Neuropsychotherapy or Neurohypnosis. She's going to start with an overview of what she sees as the neurohypnosis cycle. And it's going to be followed by some discussion on the importance of creating rapport in hypnosis as it mobilizes the social engagement system or the ventral vagus system, promoting safety and calmness, which he believes is a prerequisite for facing difficult life issues. And in that interaction process, neuroception and co-regulation play an important role as it learns and helps clients to better regulate their state. So she's going to discuss how brain-wise therapists mobilize processes working on a deeper experiential level and do not restrict therapy to cognitive changes and insight. As a result of attending this lecture, you know, you're going to be able to assess the impact of each part of the neurohypnosis cycle and how this contributes to therapeutic impact. You're going to learn about brain processes in hypnosis that improve mind-body communication, and also understand how hypnosis can initiate memory deconciliation as well as reconsolidation. Processes that are necessary to initiate lasting changes. And this is something that, you know, I'm going to be particularly interested in hearing about. Finally, we're also going to be welcoming Dr. William Sheet. He's an environmental policy academic, and he's a reader at the Centre for Environmental Policy at Imperial College London. He's also a cognitive behavioural hypnotherapist specialising in anxiety and stress in higher education. And he's going to be speaking on treating eco-anxiety. And Bill states that eco-anxiety is this overwhelming sense of impending environmental doom and a chronic fear for the future state of the planet and future generations. And his presentation is going to cover understanding eco-anxiety, cognitive behavioral and metacognitive models, dysfunctional coping strategies, and the power of cognitive behavioral hypnotherapy and that approach for dealing with it. And this is, this is a formidable lineup with a huge amount for all of us to learn and benefit from theoretically and practically. It'll highlight impressive research from some of the foremost academics and authors in the hypnosis field. Frontline hypnotherapists and hypnosis professionals, you simply do not get to see these kind of lectures anywhere else, and they're rarely available outside of academic events and organizations that simply aren't available to us. It's an important part of my role with this event to give you access to this, to attempt to highlight the value of this level of education, and for it to help us all move forward as a field. Myself, Irving Cash, Christina Lee OC, Bill Sheet, Nicole Royce, Peter Worrell, Eva Banye, Peter Nash, all speaking back to back in the main lecture theatre on the Saturday of the UK Hypnosis Convention. You can go buy a ticket at the UK Hypnosis Convention website, ukhypnosisconvention.co.uk. I genuinely hope that you're as excited as I am about this particular lineup. And I really hope to see you there. That's all from me today. More in coming weeks. Send you my very best wishes. Bye for now.